Good morning, students. In this class, we will see about the abnormalities of cord and placenta. So, the main objective of this session is discuss the abnormalities and explain abnormalities related to the length of the cord and describe the abnormalities of cord impeding blood flow. Most placenta are either round or in oval shape. Many factors which influence the health of the placenta including ethnicity, history of smoking cigarettes, high blood pressure, multiple gestation pregnancy, maternal blood clotting disorders, history of uterine surges, cesarean delivery, history of placental problems, maternal substance abuse such as cocaine use. Placenta succingureata, that is one or more small lobes of placenta, a size of cotyledon, may be placed at varying distance from the placental margin. In cases of absence of communicating blood vessels, it is called placenta spuria. The incidence is nearly 3%. This is a picture of placenta succingureata. The clinical significance: if the succingureate lobe is retained following birth of the placenta, it may lead to postpartum hemorrhage, subinvolution, uterine sepsis, and polyp formation. Whenever the diagnosis of missing lobe is made, exploration of the uterus and removal of the lobe under GA is to be done. The placenta extracoriolis. Two types of described. One is circumvallate placenta, second is placenta marginata. This is a circumvallate placenta. The fetal surface divided into a central depressed zone surrounded by a thick and wide ring which is usually complete. The vessels radiate from the cord insertion as far as the ring and then disappear from the view. The peripheral zone outside the ring is thicker and the edge is elevated and rounded. The clinical significance: there is increased chance of abortion, antepartum hemorrhage, fetal growth retardation, preterm delivery, and retained placenta or membranes. Second is the placenta marginata. A thin fibrous ring is present at the margin of the chorionic plate where the fetal vessels appear to terminate. Placenta membranica. An encroachment of some part over the lower uterine segment, imperfect separation in the third stage, and the chance of retained placenta is more, and removal of the placenta become difficult. Placenta accreta, increta, and percreta. These abnormalities are serious variations in which the trophoblastic tissue invade myometrium into varying depth. They are much more likely to with the placenta previa or with the implantation over a prior uterine incision or perforation. Placenta accreta, ingreta, and percreta. This is a normal. Ingreta is of 17%. Placenta accreta. This is condition usually associated with when the placenta implanted in the lower uterine segment or over the previously injured site, as in case of a cesarean section, dilatation or curettage operation, manual removal, and myomectomy. The diagnosis is only made during attempted manual removal when the plane of cleavage between placenta and uterine wall cannot be made out. Ultrasound imaging, color Doppler, and MRI have been all valuable in the diagnosis. Pathological conformation: absence of decidua basalis, absence of Nichtmann's fibroid layer, varying degree of penetration of villi into the muscle bundle or up to the serosal layer. The risk includes hemorrhage, shock, infection, and rarely inversion of the uterus. Cord abnormalities. Abnormal length of the cord. The first one is short cord. Length is less than 20 cm are commonly relative due to the entanglement of cord around any fetal part. In exception circumstances, the cord may be absent and the placenta may attach to the liver, as in exophthalmos. This is the picture. Clinical significance: prevent descent of the presenting part, especially during labor, separation of a normally placenta, favor malpresentation, acute inversion, fetal growth restriction, intrapartum distress, failure of external version, twofold risk of the fetal death. Long cord. Clinical significance are in the cord prolapse, cord entanglement around neck or the body, true knots, false knots. Single umbilical artery. Incidence of single umbilical artery to be 0.63% in live-born, 1.92% in perinatal death, and 3% in twins. It is more common in twins and babies born of diabetic mother or in polyhydramnios. Single umbilical artery frequently associated with congenital malformation of the fetus, renal and genital abnormalities, trisomy 18 are the common. There is increased chance of abortion, prematurity, fetal growth restriction, and perinatal mortality. In many cases, simple umbilical artery detected by routine sonographic screening. Cord insertion, that is battledore placenta. The cord is attached to the margin of the placenta. It is associated with the low implantation of the placenta. There is a chance for cord compression vaginal delivery leading to fetal anoxia or even death. Otherwise, it has got little clinical significance. Velamentous placenta. The umbilical vessels spread within the membranes at a distance from the placental margin, which they reach surrounded only by fold of amnion. Although their incidence is approximately 1%, velamentous insertion develops in more commonly with placenta previa and multifetal gestations. Vasa previa. If a leash of blood vessel happen to transverse to the membranes overlying the internal os in front of the presenting part, this condition is known as vasa previa. This is the normal placenta, velamentous insertion of the placenta, and vasa previa. Management. In the presence of fetal bleeding, urgent delivery is essential either vaginally or by cesarean section. The newborn's hemoglobin estimated and if necessary blood transfusion to be carried out. Baby's dead, vaginal delivery is awaited. Biparate placenta. Two complete and separate parts are present, each with cord leaving each. The biparate cord joins a short distance from the two parts of the placenta. Triparate placenta is similar but with three distant parts. Cord abnormalities capable of impeding blood flow. That is knots, false knots. False knots appear to be as knobs protruding from the cord surface and are focal redundancies of the vessel or Watson jelly with no clinical significance. Because there is no knots, it is look like a knot, so there is no impending, that means there is no disturbance to the blood. True knot. Active fetal movements create true knotting instantly, approximately 1%, and they are more common in monoamnionic twins. The risk of stillbirth is increased 5 to 10-fold. This is true knot, so the circulation will be impeded and the fetus will not get adequate oxygen from the mother. Loops. The cord is frequently become coiled around the portions of the fetus. These looped around neck are termed as knuckle cord. Severe large studies have reported one loop of knuckle cord is 20 to 34% of deliveries, two loops in 2.5 to 5%, and three loops in 0.2 to 0.5%. Cord around neck. It is known as knuckle cord. As the labor progresses, contractions may compress the cord vessels and create fetal heart rate deceleration that persists until contraction ceases. Punic presentation, cord prolapse or fetal heart rate abnormalities associated labor finding. Punic presentations may be identified innately with the sonography and with the color Doppler. If the present during labor, cesarean delivery is typically indicated. This is the punic presentation or cord presentation. Umbilical cord stricture. This is focal narrowing of the cord diameter that is typically developed in the area of fetal umbilical insertion. The absence of Watson jelly and stenosis or obliteration of cord vessels at the narrow segment are characteristic pathological features. Most fetuses are stillborn. Hematoma. Associated with short cord trauma and entanglement, there may be result of various rupture, usually umbilical vein with effusion of blood into the cord, may be caused by umbilical vessel venipuncture. Hematoma. Cysts. True cysts are epithelium-lined remnants of allantosis and may coexist with persistently with the patent arches. In contrast, more a pseudocyst from a local degeneration of Watson's jelly. Clinical significance: single umbilical cord cyst found in the first trimester tend to resolve completely, whereas multiple cysts may pretend miscarriage or enucleosis. Moreover, pseudocysts persisting beyond this can be associated with structural and chromosomal abnormality defect, especially trisomy 18 and 13. Thrombosis. Intrauterine thrombosis of umbilical cord vessels is a rare event. Approximately 70% are venous, 20% are venous and arterial, and 10% are arterial thrombosis. Thank you for listening. If you have any doubt or suggestions, please let me.